1 year of Animal Crossing New Horizons, and what a year it's been, right? Back in March 2020, we were dealing with something very unknown to the world, and with so much uncertainty, we were very unsure of what was going to happen in the next few days, next few weeks, months, even year. But then on March 20th, 2020, this beautiful game called Animal Crossing New Horizons came out, and who would have thought that this game would become the ultimate distraction for 2020. Some people have played past Animal Crossing games, but for most of us, this was our first time playing, and I don't think any of us would have known that we would spend hundreds of hours in this game, and maybe for some, thousands of hours. Literally everyone was playing this game. You, your friends, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your neighbors, and even your favorite celebrities. If you really think back to day one of the game, do you remember how simple things were back when you only just needed to collect fruits, wood, Nook Miles, and make bells? We had so much fun just doing these simple tasks, except maybe collecting those initial 30 iron nuggets. I can see myself just shaking my head after collecting just 20 of those iron nuggets. We would collect a bunch of our fruit and extra items, then invite our friends over to our island to trade. I'm sure we all had that one friend that already was a billionaire and hands over bags and bags of bells to everyone on day one of the game. I remember when the mask mandate became official, and whenever my friends and I would go to each other's islands, we would be wearing masks and keeping distances when we stood in line at Nook's Cranny. Probably the best thing about the game, and even early on in the game, was just the creativity and personal touch that everyone had to their islands, as well as their character's clothing style. And then Tom Nook came along and brought you back to some reality by making you pay loans. I personally had enough student loans, car loans, etc. Now I have loans in my virtual world, but luckily we had the sweet Daisy May come along every Sunday to sell us turnips, hopefully for 90 bells each. We would use Turnip Exchange to find those super high turnip prices and become billionaires, or even sell products on Nookazon. Or if we're lucky, we would find streamers on YouTube or Twitch, like this man who spends about half his day rolling for high turnip prices to help people that need to sell their turnips. Remember going fishing with your friends? Other than catching sea basses all day, this ended up leading to shark hunting and calling each other over to wherever you were on that island so that they can either watch you fail miserably or actually catch the predators of the sea. I remember showing off our best and biggest catches for the day to each other at the end of the day. Remember getting stung by bees the first time, and then thinking you were prepared the second time, and then finally catching them on the third try? Or how about using Nook Mile tickets to visit Mystery Islands and seeing your first ever tarantula or scorpion? Which of course means we can never forget our first best method to making a lot of bells, which was tarantula farming. We would see these amazing mystery islands and gave them not very creative names like Tarantula Island or Money Rock Island or Bamboo Island. Oh, and who can forget making Orville blush so he can take us to those super rare 1% chance islands. We saw Gulliver wash up on our beaches, and the items he ends up giving you, which ended up giving us new ideas to help us design our islands. What about seeing your first shooting stars and then inviting your friends over and wishing on stars for hours into the night? Not really sure if anything was gonna happen, but just having a very chill and relaxing time together. I can't be the only one that thought Sonic the Hedgehog visited our island when Mabel came to sell clothes. What about inviting your significant other or loved one or potential loved one and having yourself a date because you can't go on a real one in real life? Trying to kick out villagers was definitely a mission in the beginning. So many of us were trying to figure out if caging them like in a zoo or giving them trash or hitting them with nets would make them mad or sad enough to leave our islands. But once we figured out how to properly kick them out with the snap of a finger, we started that new trend of villager hunting, which led to the mysterious cat named Raymond becoming the most popular thing on the internet and the most expensive villager. And even if Raymond wasn't your favorite villager, you would do whatever it took to find your all-time dream villager, even if it meant going through hundreds and hundreds of islands. But when you finally get your dream villager, you look back and think it was all worth it. Remember the very first KK Slider concert you had on your island? And you ended up seeing those end credits? Even though the first group of villagers to join you in the concert wasn't your most favorite lineup, they probably still hold some fond memories as your first residents. I think a lot of us thought that was a very anticlimactic ending to the game, but this did unlock this little thing called terraforming. Terraforming unlocked the ability to really take people's islands to new levels. 5-star levels to be more specific. This is what led to the next trend, which was 5-star island tours, which many content creators and streamers started to do. But no one did it better than this man, who probably grew his channel and his community from basically nothing to over 200,000 subscribers in less than a year. It's seriously just incredible how creative people made their islands, from the items in game to the custom design patterns used, and the patience to terraform their islands to what eventually leads to what I call video game art. This game was very open world, freestyle from the beginning to do whatever you wanted to do, but luckily Nintendo would give us updates almost every month, and they would also give us some new events. We started off with Bunny Day, which I think is a pretty underrated event considering it gave us so much to do, like collecting enough eggs to make all of the items. We had to fish for eggs, shake trees for eggs, dig for eggs, hit rocks for eggs, cut down trees and cause global warming for eggs, and slingshot for eggs. Yes, I do agree that it was maybe one too many eggs, and yes, it can get annoying when balloons were coming every minute. I also agree that the event could have been shorter and probably would have been better if it didn't overlap the beauty behind a lot of people's favorite season of cherry blossoms. But even with these negatives, I think most of us can agree that this event did a good job of setting the bar for future Animal Crossing New Horizons events. Next we had Nature Day with a brand new NPC called Leaf. He taught all of us about saving the planet by planting bushes, and of course, he also taught us everything we need to know about weeds. I'm talking in-game weeds, by the way. Around this time is also when we got Jolly Red, and this sent all of us into a new kind of frenzy to collect all of the real and even fake paintings and sculptures. I'm sure most of us fell for his fake paintings and soon realized how sleazy this guy is. It's been almost a year with Jolly Red, and I've probably seen him a grand total of maybe 5 times on my island. Okay, it's been more than 5 times, but I feel like he never shows up. We had May Day come around with a pretty cool idea where you fly to a new mysterious island with any of your items and you have to solve a maze to get to Rover. Now that maze wasn't too difficult to solve, but this led to so many people creating their own mazes that were so much more difficult to solve. But no one can come close to this team of people that built the most difficult and most creative mazes you will ever see in this game. It took even the smartest of people around 30 minutes to an hour to solve, and this is after wanting to rage quit at least 10 times. These mazes gave some people the confidence to make their own, and they probably didn't even realize the talent they had inside. This game in general finally gave some longtime streamers and content creators the growth that they definitely deserved, and the growth that they will continue to see. Museum Day, or Museum Week, was next, and it was unarguably the worst event that we experienced. I think it took a total of 5 minutes to complete, but the only good thing about it was for the people that never took a tour around their museum, it gave them a chance to do that. Around this time is also when people were graduating from school and they weren't going to be able to get a proper ceremony. I'm sure that hurt a lot of people that worked so hard for years to finally get to walk across the stage to pick up their diplomas. Even though nothing will compare to the real thing, there was a big trend of people creating their own graduation ceremonies and live concert in Animal Crossing, and these seriously looked amazing. Congrats to anyone that graduated last year, and I hope you were able to make the best of it. Next event was wedding season, and it was overall a pretty cute event where you need to take some pictures for Reese and Cyrus, and they gave you some really cool wedding themed items to take back to your island. But around this time is when a lot of people were getting burned out of Animal Crossing, and we haven't been given any new updates for quite some time. But then July came rolling around and we were given the new ability to swim around our island while being able to collect sea creatures. This gave us some new things to do on the island, as well as invite friends over to swim. There were even some people out there that played 10 plus hours straight for science and pulled an all-nighter to try to collect all the sea creatures in one sitting. Dream Suites became a thing and changed the way that we shared our islands for the entire world to see. We can't forget about celebrating your birthday in Animal Crossing, since we couldn't really celebrate it normally in the real world. Your villagers did a nice little shindig for you, but it's your friends who would take some time to put together something really nice for you in-game. We had the fireworks show every Sunday in August, where finally Isabelle came out of her seat. You also got to create custom fireworks, and of course I had to display one of my favorite villagers. But someone else definitely did it better than me by doing a gender reveal using the fireworks. Congratulations, by the way. Next, we had to wait some time for the next event, which was Halloween, and it ended up being a pretty good event for you to enjoy. The best part for the Halloween event was probably the items you get for completing the event, along with the people that decorated the islands to match the spooky theme. We were also able to get a taste of growing our own vegetables by creating pumpkins. Next, we had the Thanksgiving, or the Harvest Festival as it's called in the game, And this event definitely made me hungry. And no, I'm not talking about Franklin, I'm talking about the dishes he made. Christmas or Toy Day was the next event, and it was a pretty small event, but they did give out some pretty cool toys for you to use on your islands. And just like that, 2020, the worst year we will all probably experience in our lifetime, hopefully, was just about to end, and we were given a really nice end of year celebration with our villagers as well as your friends, family, and loved ones. As we began 2021, things seemed to be getting better in the real world slowly but surely. In game, we were given the last event for the year, which was Fist of All, and it was definitely the most colorful and happyful, if that's even a word, event that we probably had so far. All the villagers were dancing and Pavé was performing like Beyonce, J-Lo, or Shakira. Overall, it was a pretty nice last event for year one, but we can't forget about the Mario items we were given. I wasn't expecting too much from the items, but when we got those warp pipes, I believe those were pretty game changing for probably everyone that still plays the game. But with all the events we were given and all the NPCs that were added, can this man please just get Brewster? He's been staying positive and hopeful for the past 1 year. So to close out this 1 year Animal Crossing New Horizons recap, I believe this game should have won Game of the Year for 2020, as it did what video games strive to do, which is to separate you from reality, bring you joy, allow you creativity, and to bring people together. I believe this game did all that and more for all of us in 2020. It's definitely the game that I put the most hours into in my lifetime, and it's not even close. And it's definitely my favorite game of all time. Thank you to all of you if you made it this far. If you want to help spread this video, please hit that like button. And if you're looking for more content in the future, definitely hit that subscribe button. The links to the content creators and streamers that were in this video are in the description down below. So take care everyone, and happy 1 year anniversary.